After accidentally getting soaked, Subin immediately hands her a fresh change of clothes, clearly happy to see her. But his excitement doesn't last long. The moment EJ explains she's only there because of work, it's obvious he's disappointed. He had secretly hoped she'd come to talk about the screenplay they once dreamed of making together. Still, EJ swallows her pride and asks him to appear on her program, admitting that doing so would make her life a little easier. The two head out for breakfast, where Subin is unexpectedly stood up by his own mother. As producer Kim keeps calling to pressure EJ for an answer, Subin finally gives in and agrees to appear on the show. Of course, in a small town, nothing stays secret for long. The locals quickly notice the pair eating together and immediately begin gossiping. Before long, everyone is asking the same question. Whatever happened to EJ's dream of becoming a movie director? Yeop, meanwhile, continues chasing his own dream. He attends yet another audition and finally lands a small role in Hana's latest production. It's only a minor part, but for someone who spent years getting rejected, it's still a step forward. Hana, however, has problems of her own. Her mother, Soo-hee, keeps filling her schedule without asking for her opinion, making every decision on her behalf until Hana is left with no choice but to go along. The glamorous life everyone envies is starting to feel more like a prison. Back in Bunim, Subin surprises EJ by returning the screenplay. Rather than pressuring her again, he quietly tells her to do whatever she wants with it. He admits he was selfish for trying to force her back into filmmaking and sincerely apologizes. Then, for the first time, he reveals what really happened all those years ago. His father discovered his plans to become a director and completely lost control. He locked both Subin and his mother inside the house for days, physically abusing them until Subin finally agreed to abandon his dream and leave for America to study medicine. That's why he never came outside while EJ spent days waiting for him. It's the explanation EJ has wanted for years. But hearing the truth doesn't erase the pain. She admits that what hurts most isn't even the breakup anymore. It's the fact that everyone sees her as the pathetic girl who got left behind while Subin went on to become successful. Later, EJ visits her mother's restaurant, where reality once again catches up with her family. Business is struggling, debts are piling up, and the landlord is raising the rent yet again. Even so, EJ forces herself to smile, pretending she's perfectly happy with her career because she doesn't want her mother to worry any more than she already does. The following day, Subin finally agrees to meet his own mother for lunch. She quietly asks why he refuses to come home or even see his father anymore. Subin never gives her the answer she wants, and after they part ways, she's left crying alone in her car. When Subin returns to the guest house, another disappointment is waiting for him. EJ has neatly folded the clothes he lent her and returned them without a word, putting even more distance between them. Not long afterward, something frightening happens. While crossing the street, EJ suddenly freezes. The memories of her accident come rushing back, triggering a panic attack. She can't move as a car speeds toward her. At the very last second, Subin rushes in and pulls her to safety. Afterward, the two sit together in silence before EJ admits that painful memories never truly disappear. They're always there, waiting for the smallest trigger to bring them back. Subin gently tells her that if she can't let go of the bad memories, then he'll help her hold on to the good ones instead. Over the next few days, EJ throws herself back into work while wrestling with what to do about the screenplay. Flashbacks reveal the days they spent writing it together. Even then, they couldn't agree on the ending. EJ believed stories should end tragically because that's how life really is, while Subin stubbornly insisted every story deserved a happy ending. Ironically, that disagreement now mirrors their own lives. Meanwhile, In-wook, Subin's manager, becomes increasingly anxious after learning Subin returned the screenplay. Knowing how much pain it carries, he's terrified EJ might destroy it forever and urges Subin to get it back before it's too late. Elsewhere, Yeop and Hana continue growing closer on the set of her drama. After Yeop misses lunch because of Sangyeon's selfish behavior, Hana quietly brings him food. In return, he offers to take her on a ride through town on his motorbike. For someone whose every minute is controlled by managers and schedules, the simple bike ride feels unbelievably freeing. She laughs, smiles, and enjoys herself in a way she hasn't for a long time. By the end of the day, she's accidentally forgotten to return his helmet. Later that evening, Yoo-jeon is stunned to find Korea's biggest actress waiting outside his home. Rather awkwardly, she asks if they'll be friends because she doesn't actually have any. Surprised but touched, Yoo-jeon happily agrees to become her very first friend. Elsewhere, In-wook meets with Soo-hee after she reaches out to discuss a possible business partnership. Neither of them fully trusts the other because of their complicated history. Soo-hee also notices that Soo-bin never came inside the restaurant, choosing instead to wait outside. As soon as Soo-bin picks In-wook up, his phone rings. It's EJ. She says producer Kyung wants to discuss the television program, so Soo-bin immediately abandons In-wook in the middle of the road and rushes off to meet her. Unfortunately, the meeting isn't what EJ expected at all. Producer Kyung had only called her because he was too drunk to drive. Even worse, Soo-bin had already overheard him and one of the executives laughing earlier about how they planned to use EJ until the show was eventually cancelled. Hearing that truth completely breaks her. Furious, EJ gets behind the wheel and gives director Kyung the most terrifying ride of his life before quitting on the spot and throwing away his car keys as she walks off. Soo-bin quietly follows after her. The two eventually end up sharing drinks together, and for the first time, EJ completely drops her guard. Through tears, she pours out every emotion she's been carrying for years. Soo-bin reminds her of the words she used to live by and finally admits that despite everything, he has never been able to forget her. Unable to hold it in any longer, EJ confesses the truth, telling Soo-bin that the person she regrets the most isn't him, it's herself. The next morning, EJ wakes up in Soo-bin's bed with no idea how she got there. Panicking, she hurriedly tries to leave, but just as she's about to escape, someone knocks on the front door. With nowhere else to go, she rushes into the bathroom to hide, only to come face to face with a half-naked Soo-bin. With that, we've come to the end of today's recap. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next recap. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.